What is up, comic fam, and welcome to the Legion of Comics. I'm here today to give you a preview for this coming week's new comic book day and to talk about what I'll be picking up and what to look forward to reading. But before we do that, check this out. As always, I'd like to give a big thank you to the channel sponsor, Time Collectibles. Thank you for sponsoring the monthly Legion loot. If you're interested in wondering how you could win that monthly box sponsored by Time Collectibles, hit that join button down below and join the Legion at the $5.99 tier, and you're entered to win the monthly giveaway box, as well as it comes with loyalty badges, custom channel emojis, and more. So if you'd like to join the Legion, definitely hit that join button and it gives you the options. There's all kinds of other perks involved too, as well as just getting to know each other better and being more interactive with the channel. I definitely appreciate all the channel members and all the subscribers up to this point. It's been a good run. So let's talk about new comic book day. There's a lot of good reads coming out. There's a ton of stuff coming out. And at this point, the solicitations, I check on League of Comic Geeks to see what's coming out and look at all the covers and everything. And it looks like books shift around so often. So I'm kind of just, for this week, I'm just going to spotlight the ones that I'll be actually picking up and what I'm looking forward to reading specifically, not just like all kinds of stuff coming out. Because it already is a long list. But first up, we have Batman 115. So I think we're probably about halfway through the Fear State storyline. I just really haven't felt really invested in these characters that have been added in during Tynan's run, at least not here on the tail end. I'm ready for this just to be over with. All that, I know I say that every time, but pretty much what's going on. Simon Saint's plan's falling apart. Peacekeeper 1 is running around like an idiot. He sent another Peacekeeper out to stop him. It didn't work. There's just plots going every which way. I don't see how it can all be wrapped up before it's over. But basically, the whole magistrate thing that was introduced in Future State, it's already toppled, and now we're just dragging out the crumbling of it. But I don't know. I'm still reading it. I'm going to hang in there. You know, I'm not bailing on Batman. There is a backup feature in this called Batgirls. I don't expect it to be good either, but you might enjoy it. I'm not me. Go pick up Batman the Imposter from last week instead. It was phenomenal. Next up, we have Nightwing by Tom Taylor, which is typically a fantastic series, and this is a digital-only read for me. And it is a Fear State tie-in. That last issue wasn't great, wasn't bad. It was just a meh issue. They took us out of the normal Nightwing story just to kind of get all the characters in line for the overall story arc going through the Bat family titles. The artwork in the last issue was atrocious and inconsistent, so hopefully they got their regular artist back on. But I am excited to see Barbara in action. See her right there. She's in action. Next up, we have one I'm definitely excited about. It's Flash number 775. So this has been such a blast since the new writer has taken over. And he just really brought Wally back into the forefront. So he spent a lot of time letting new readers get to know him a little bit better. And he's been teasing it the whole time. It's kind of been like one-off issues pretty much. And in the background of all of it, we've had this item flying through space. And we find out that it's a weapon. It's a gravel, some word that begins with a G that's synonymous with spear, but it's not a spear. A glaive. That's it. So the glaive crash landed on Earth in the last issue. So this issue, I think he's supposed to be going to look for it and see what's what with him. Look at the covers. His face looks super weird, but overall it's a really cool cover. I like the paint and look in the background, but it's been awesome how they structured it so far. We've kind of gotten a little spotlight into different aspects of Wally's life. So I'm wondering if we'll kind of get a little bit of a spotlight into his relationship with his wife specifically, or with his son. We haven't seen those two, but definitely been enjoying it. Next up from Tom King, we have Batman Catwoman issue number, Batcat 8. So it's getting closer to the end. Look at that beautiful Clayman cover art. And to be honest with you, I cannot remember what's going on. I'm reading a lot of books, and this one is such a heavy read that it's hard to keep up. I tend to have to go back and kind of double check where I left off. But the last issue we had Dick Grayson, who's like the commissioner of Gotham, come for Selina to arrest her for her involvement with killing the Joker. And she killed the Joker because, as far as we know, he killed Batman. But it's been a kind of a more of a Catwoman focused book, and kind of spotlighting on how inconsistent she is with her behaviors, and how she was kind of going behind Batman's back and working with Joker as well as Phantasm back in the day when they were supposed to be in a relationship together. But overall, it's definitely been a good read. I do need to hit that last issue up again and see what was up with it. I remember enjoying it, but for the life of me, I can't remember what happened in it. But they're definitely heavy reads. Next up, we have Superman, Son of Kal-El from Tom Taylor. Another great book right here. I'm super excited to get into this one. So that last issue, we saw Jonathan tell his father his final goodbyes before Kal-El heads off into space to go try to free up all the slaves that are on Warworld under the heel of Mongol. And this is that new Mongol and everything. So all of that's going to be taking place in the pages of Action Comics. And Philip Kennedy Johnson is spearheading that story. So back on Earth, Jonathan is tasked with holding the mantle of Superman. And him and his father in the last issue stopped this metahuman called Fault Line from wreaking havoc, who was powered up against her will, it looked like. And in the last issue, she was dropped from an airplane right on top of the Kent farm. And that's what you see there on the cover. So we're going to see if he was able to get his family out of there at the last minute, as well as his upcoming boyfriend, I think, was in that house. And we're going to see how he handles this situation and goes to where these refugees are coming from. And that's who's kind of attacking him, as this dictator person. So we're going to see how he handles kind of Earth problems. It looks like they're really like baseline social issues that we see happening a lot. So there's a lot of current hot topic issues being handled in the pages of this book. But so far, they've seemed to have been handled pretty well. And it's pretty cool seeing them from the aspect of somebody who doesn't necessarily identify as human, even though they were born here on this planet. So it's been a really interesting dynamic, and they're really taking Jonathan really cool direction and everything with it. Next up, a digital only read for me. It's The Death of Doctor Strange, issue number 2. So that first issue, I wasn't blown away by it. The writing was a little choppy, and it was trying to be bigger than it really had any business being. But it was a pretty cool story. It gave me a chance to kind of get reintroduced to where Doctor Strange is currently in Marvel Comics, because as most people who watch my channel know, I don't pick up too much Marvel stuff. It just really doesn't hit that well. But Doctor Strange does get killed. We don't know by who, so the mystery is afoot. And who better to solve the mystery of his death than himself? So it was pretty cool the way that they played it, that he had like a pocket version of himself hidden away in a pocket dimension somewhere. And so that in the event of his death, he can solve his own death. So that's where we're at. It was definitely cool. I'm definitely interested to see where it goes. I hope the writing kind of tightens up a little bit in this issue. But other than that, yeah, I'm in it for the series on this. There are some tie-in issues to it, which I feel is completely unnecessary. So I'm going to skip on those and just stick with the main title, and hopefully I'll get the gist of it. But that is a gorgeous cover right there with all the shoulders of the heroes. And that last issue is a beautiful painted cover as well. So definitely some good cover art. Next up, we have King Spawn, issue number 3. So we have Kincaid kind of playing his hand in that last issue and setting off some kids to go pull off like a shooting on a campus. And Spawn intercepted him and did exactly what Kincaid wanted him to do. And he took the life of those would-be shooters. And by doing that, he literally killed kids that were innocent because they were victims of Kincaid. So he kind of just seeding this in Spawn in front of everyone. So this Kincaid guy, he's pretty wicked. He's not playing any games. So that's that new writing team on this, man. I forget the guy's name, but it's not Todd McFarlane, but it was Sean something, I think. But he did fantastic with it. And the artwork in it was amazing. It was real tight. It was real neat, but it had this like feel of like the 90s cover art for Spawn. It was just really good. So highly recommend the Spawn stuff that's coming out right now if you haven't been picking it up. Then we have Suicide Squad, issue number 8. This book continues to be a blast. Like one of the top books for DC coming out right now. It's consistent, it's balanced, it's funny, it's action-packed, it's hard-hitting. So we have our Suicide Squad team went to literal hell in that last issue by instruction from Amanda Waller to go retrieve the Rock of Eternity. And if you're reading Shazam, you already know that the Rock of Eternity is stuck down there, and that's what's causing Billy Batson to have inconsistent powers with Captain Marvel. But we lost the teleporter on the Suicide Squad team early on. So Amanda Waller brought an ambush bug to serve as a teleporter for this mission. And of course, with Ambush Bug, he's your original fourth wall breaker, like long before Deadpool. It has been a trip just watching him interact with the team as well as us, the reader. Like, it is just fun. So I highly recommend this. It probably potentially might have a little tie-in twist with Shazam. I don't know how much. Shazam's only that 4-issue miniseries, but Suicide Squad have been popping up in every title. They're just a really good book right now to be reading and paying attention to. They're definitely the backbone of the continuity of the DC universe right now. Next up, this is a big one. Hopefully the solicitation is right on the timing on this. I'm really excited for this. This is the Gunslinger Spawn issue number 1. So Todd McFarlane promised us that this would be the year of the Spawn. And Todd McFarlane does make good on his word so far. So I'm excited for this. This is the second original Spawn title to be releasing this week, spawning out of the pages of Spawn's universe. So we're going to be following fan favorite Gunslinger Spawn in this issue. It's going to give us 3 individual stories, starting with the Wild Wild West and working our way up to modern times. And I wasn't too familiar with Gunslinger Spawn until here recently, and his backstory was wicked so far, and I'm definitely intrigued by him. I know a lot of people like him because he has that cool look and everything. I've always been a medieval Spawn character fan of that character for the same reason. He just looks awesome. So I'm definitely interested in this. I'm definitely going to be picking a physical copy up. I'm excited to read it, excited to add it to my Spawn collection. Next up, I mentioned it earlier, and here we are. Shazam issue number 4 of 4. So in this series, Billy, along with his buddy from Teen Titans Academy, went to hell. It's kind of a common theme in books right now, going to literal hell to go find the Rock of Eternity and fix the problems with his powers, because his loved ones like Freddie Freeman, who are part of the Captain Marvel family, depend on those powers to live, because he's he's ill. He's always ill. The powers are what keep him from being crippled and dying. So he went there, he risked it all, and he's found the Rock of Eternity. He went inside and he got a surprise from an old friend. We saw like a skinny, younger looking Black Adam there. So we saw him face off with Nimrod and some major demons in hell, and we kind of got past that point in the story that we were familiar with from Future State. And now we're into new territory with this last issue, because per Future State, he made a deal with Nimrod to stay in hell as Billy Batson and send just Captain Marvel back up to Earth without being tethered to the goodness of Billy Batson. And that's how things were in Future State. And that's how this book started out looking like it was going to go. In that last issue, though, we had a twist where Raven came down and actually got rid of Nimrod. So now we're into new territory in this last issue, and this is where it deviates. So we'll see what it'll look like moving forward now, because we're going into a territory that has not been projected like was in Future State. So I'm definitely excited. Next up, Eat the Rich number 3. This is a digital only read for me. I'm reading it to kind of be able to keep up with conversation with a few of my friends that are reading it. I haven't been too impressed with it. It's Squid Games, guys. It's Squid Games. It's like 5 other movies that came out recently. Rich people got more money than they know what to do with, so they take advantage of less fortunate people knocking on death's door and use them as party favors, basically. It's nothing special. It's not bad. It's just been done to death. Suicide Squad King Shark is one that's actually available digital first on your DCU apps if you have those, so that you can actually read a good bit ahead. It's not the greatest book, but it's kind of fun. I like the fact that they're in the wild realm. We're talking about like the red, like where Swamp Thing is Avatar of the green, where we got a bunch of animal characters fighting to be the champion of the red. So that's what's got me interested. I think it's weird that they have a King Shark title starring a character called Defacer, who's vandalized the statue, and that's why she was put into the situation of being thrown on a Suicide Squad. It's kind of a forced character there for no good reason. Tim Silly's writing this, I believe, and he's not exactly like my favorite writer. He's not bad. I've got people that tell me he's a nice guy, and I don't think that has anything to do with the quality of your writing, but he's definitely he's not the worst. But I wanted to say like King Shark focus, but I'm definitely reading it. I mean, it's included in my app, so and if they do any more cool shark covers like they did with that Frederici for number 1, I'll pick those up. But as far as this one, I'm on the fence if I'll actually pick one up. As of right now, I'm not, unless the cover just really sells me. And then finally, Jane Gang alert. We have Hell Cop issue number 1 from Image Comics coming out. So the whole premise of this story is like we find out that there's another realm, and we go and investigate it. And it's a literal hell. Again, common theme this week. And there's this force of fighters, good guys here, that are tasked with keeping the Hellions in hell and away from Earthside stuff. So this is an exclusive John Jane cover from Carnivore Comics that I've already pre-ordered. So I'm looking forward to getting that in. So I'll probably read it digital and see what I think of it and see if it's something I might want to go back and pick up or not. But it's definitely a really cool cover. I love the color work on it. And it's just, yeah, it almost reminds me of Egon from like the 90s Ghostbusters cartoon. But Yeah, that's pretty much all I have on my list for this week, guys. And that's, see, we're already at 15 minutes. That's why I didn't want to drag it out any farther this week. But if you want to know what my top pick for this week is going to be, go check out the Comic Bets channel on Sundays. He drops a video that him and I collab on where we both give you our top pick for the week, as well as give a big shout out to Paul and Donna from the Augusta Book Exchange. They are the keepers of my comics, the guardians of my pool box. They always make sure that everything I'm looking for is safe and secure every week when I go to get there. You'll find no better customer service anywhere. If you're ever in the Augusta area, be sure to look them up, stop by, tell them hello, and tell them I said hi. So, guys, until next time, as always, I'm Mark, but we are Legion.